We've talked about two types of structural isomers so far. And remember, an isomer is an organic molecule that has the same molecular formula, which means they have the same type of atoms and same number of each of those types of atoms within the molecule, but they're put together differently. And when they're put together differently, they end up having different ways that they react and the ways that they behave in a physical manner as well. So we've looked at two of these in the past already. We've looked at C4H10, a chain isomer, and here we have 1, 2, 3, all 4 carbons in a row, so we named this one butane. But I can rearrange things and have different groups coming off of that main chain, so a different arrangement of the molecule structure. And I would have 1, 2, 3 with a CH3 up here instead. I'm going to do this semi-condensed to save us a little bit of time. And this time I have a methyl group. And it is on the, not first, but it is on the second carbon. So 2-methyl. And there's 3 in a row this time, and the prefix for 3 is prop. So we've got, for this one, a 2-methyl propane. So again, chain isomers, I've just rearranged the way that I have my carbons and hydrogens in the main chain. And so I end up naming them differently. And even though they have the same weight and the same total number of each kind of element, they're going to behave differently. So this butane, that's longer than this propane with the little methyl group coming off of it. It's much longer, which means there's going to be more places for interactions, intermolecular interactions, and so it would have a higher boiling point than this more roundish molecule that has less places to have those intermolecular interactions. Okay, the second kind is called a position isomer, and really only second kind because it's the second one that we've talked about so far, not because there's any order in them. But the positional one changes where a functional group is. And so I identify on here that my functional group is that double bond, that it's an alkene. That is right there. So if I were to name this molecule, I'd start counting from this carbon because it's closest to that double bonded group. 2, 3, 4. I've got another bute, but this time it's 1-butene. E because of the double bond, and it's starting on the first carbon, so I put in that 1 there. The other way I could name this is bute 1-ene. Okay, my other way of doing this is moving around where that double bond is. So if I move it right here, my new molecule is 1, 2, double bond there, 3, 4. And then I'm going to have hydrogens around there, 1 here, 1 here, and then 3 on that one. So now all that I've done is I've changed where that number would be. The main chain is still the same. There's still 4 in a row, and there's still a double bond. Nothing else has changed. So I would name it now with a 2-butene, or a bute 2-ene. And this actually will have a factor in how it's going to react. And we'll see that more with the next unit. My third kind of isomer that we haven't talked about yet is a functional isomer. And that is going to differ the position of the atoms to make a different functional group. So let's say that I have this molecule here. I see I have a carbonyl group on it. There's my carbonyl group, and it's on one of my end carbons. Since it's on one of my end carbons, my carbonyl group means that I have an aldehyde. And I'm going to start counting from that element. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 total in a row. So I've got a but again. But this time with naming it, we use al as the suffix, so the end of the name. And we don't bother with a number because there is only one place that we could have put it. So I have butanal. Now if I want this same number of carbons, which we said is 4, and then hydrogens, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've got 1 oxygen. If I want to rearrange that to get a different functional group, what I could do is take that aldehyde carbonyl group and switch it out with one of the hydrogens on the inside. Because I know if I've moved my carbonyl group to one of the inside carbons, that I then have a ketone. So let's redraw this one. And I'll do it condensed again because it took too much time with the last one writing it all out. C double bond O, C, H, H, C, H, 3. So I still have 8 hydrogens. Got my 1 oxygen, got my 4 carbons, but now I don't have my carbonyl on an end group. I've got it on a middle group. When it's on a middle group, it's a ketone. And my suffix for the name is going to be from that O-N-E. So I have butanone.